A renovation can change the room. And what if the room isn't the real problem?
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.
Welcome to Life's Inside Track, episode 761. I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
Thank you for connecting with us each week as we have honest conversations to help everyday Canadians make wise real estate decisions that help them strengthen the life they're ultimately building with even more clarity, confidence, and conviction.
Before renovating,
Yeah.
let's clarify whether the renovation is going to solve the root problem. I'm going to call it the root problem or the ultimate problem, right? I've seen too many times where people do a renovation.
And then the house is still not the right thing for them in this season.
What would cause that?
I think because we think that a renovation makes it feel bright and new and cheery and exciting and inviting. And yet maybe, just maybe, people haven't clarified what the real root issue is. You had a really good example just before we went on air.
Yeah, because, we've had clients where they go, well, I'm going to open up the kitchen. Should I open up the kitchen? And they do, and they take out a wall, they put in a support beam, and now they put a new kitchen in, they put some nice granite or quartz, and that room is stunning, and the floor's been redone, it's connected to the family room, and then they go, well, we still want to move. And I said, well, why do you still want to move? You just did this beautiful renovation. And they said, yeah, but the house is too tight. The rooms are too small. We don't have enough of them. And so what they thought would solve their problem, renovating the kitchen and making it an open space, only did a small element of the problem.
Well, because it didn't actually make it bigger.
Didn't make the house bigger.
No.
It feels bigger in that area.
For maybe 6 months. Right? And often people aren't necessarily calling for the clarity conversation before they make these decisions.
We'd love for them to.
We would love them to, because in the clarity conversation, if you're pondering a renovation or pondering staying or pondering moving, it doesn't really matter what's going on for you. If you're having this thought, hey, I wonder if sometimes, or if you would value an outside perspective that understands there's a bigger decision at play here. It's not just one thing. It's actually the life that you're building. It's not so much about the house.
Mm-hmm.
People often ask me, do you love real estate? I love people. Real estate just happens to be the vehicle because everybody needs a home to live in. And so we want to make amazing real estate decisions because they're ultimately life decisions. So if that feels like something that would help you, then go to dekkerteam.com website, and we love to offer 15-minute complimentary clarity conversations to help you just choose one next step, to get your options a little more clear and make maybe one decision as you move forward. We're not solving the whole thing in 15 minutes.
And it may not even be a decision. It may be, well, it's kind of a decision.
Yeah.
The decision to have us in to look at your house.
Could be.
And problem solve. Could be.
Yeah.
It could be that, the decision is to, yes, move ahead. Could be it's to stay there and do something different.
And renovate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So really what we want to highlight in this conversation is the renovation truly going to solve the issue that you're feeling like you're having? That's what we want to open anybody's mind to, because we have seen so many people do a renovation and then call us in and then still say the house doesn't work. And that's really what you alluded to.
Yeah. And we've seen renovations go bad too, like major renovations where they're putting on another room or putting a second story on a house and the flow doesn't work anymore. All kinds of things can happen. So talk to us. We have decades and decades and decades of experience of guiding people through the process of making house home, right? Making your house a home.
Where it fits your life that you're living as well as the one that you're building. That's really what we're talking about here. And when Ken said the word flow, that may mean not much to somebody. So I want to lay that out practically.
Sure.
So sometimes what happens is when we add a space, now the way I have to access the new space means I have to walk through another room that now renders that room not so practical. Or it ruins where my eating area can be in my kitchen. It used to be great there, but now I can't put a table there because the flow is messed up. Or I have to put a thin hallway in. Or maybe the staircase is now not able to be spread out enough, so it's too tight. The stairs are too steep. Or the hallway's too narrow. Or you're going through some space that makes that space completely rendered useless.
Like
so
you have to go through a bedroom to get to the new primary bedroom, which is over the garage.
Right.
And that was the only access.
Which might be okay as long as you then do another addition to think about having enough bedrooms upstairs for everybody in the family. So it's a bigger conversation than just, hey, we're going to do this renovation.
And many times renovations can feel easier than looking and naming the real issue that we're dealing with,
right?
That the home's not working anymore. Sometimes it's location. Like you can't fix location with a renovation, and it's difficult to fix size or layout with a renovation. Very expensive. Very expensive to do an addition. You know, recently I was talking to one of our realtors, and he lives in Vernon, and he gave me an AI picture. He says, "Look at my house. It's a bungalow, and I did an AI version with a 2-story, and you know the space is going to be amazing." And he said, "But you know what? When I looked at what the cost would be to do that renovation, my house doesn't fit where it is anymore. I'm better off to go buy a 2-story somewhere else that meets my needs."
Right. And then the other piece to think about is the structure of you're adding a second story on top. Is it a structure that was built to have a second story put on? Because we've seen some houses where they added a second story and it not ought to have happened. Well, no, but seriously, you can sometimes get building permits for things, or people do them without building permits, worse yet, and it doesn't actually hold the load. So you have sloping floors, you have a structural issue. Or
there's one on a road I drove by all the time where they built an addition on top of the garage, didn't get permits for it, and the city will not allow them to occupy it because it's structurally not good.
Right. But even if it were structurally good, you're going to have a hard time after the fact getting permits. So we're saying if you're doing a renovation, do get permits. Like it's worth the effort. That those rules and regulations are there for a reason.
Yeah, if it requires permits. Like changing out a kitchen doesn't require a permit.
Agreed. So you want to just really look at these renovations and think, what problem? Like this is the question I'm asking you to ask yourself. What problem is it actually solving? Not the surface thing. What below the surface? What's the root issue that you're attempting to solve? And only you can know that, right? Only you can really know that. And yet maybe an outside perspective would be valued. Somebody that understands that real estate is about much more than the tangible real estate. It's really about strengthening the life you're building. And so if that feels good, then a complimentary clarity conversation for your next step. That's all we're promising. And even then you got to be open because you can not make it happen.
Yeah, dekkerteam.com to book that. You know, spending money on the wrong problem can actually make your house feel nicer or look nicer.
For a moment.
Yeah, but it's not solving that root problem. As a matter of fact, many people do this because CMHC said in 2026, 63% of the mortgage consumers who are refinancing, taking more money out, are doing it to renovate. So renovation mortgages are huge in the refi business.
And so you just want to make sure if you're going to do it, that it actually helps you and doesn't hinder your financial situation, because that's part of the life you're building too. If it sets you back. The other thing to take into consideration, and I love the example that you shared with our friend from the office, And that is, if he spent the money on the renovation, he wouldn't get very many cents on the dollar back because it was the wrong house for that neighborhood. If you're going to stay forever, doesn't really matter. Enjoy it. If it's the right location, if it's the right everything for you, then do what you need to do. And yet, what we see so often is life happens. So what I think is going to be my forever, the home that we build, that in 2002, I think we thought that was our forever. I mean, it was the dream home that we had drawn probably 20.
That was crazy.
Some years earlier, forgotten about it, found the drawing after we had an architect design the house, after we moved in, after we got settled. We found a sketch that we had made decades earlier of the house
before
that we thought.
We owned a house.
That far back.
At all.
Yeah.
We were dreaming and we were drawing out what our dream house would look like.
And so we moved into our dream house without even knowing that that was actually still our dream house. And yet it didn't always continue to help us, serve us, because it was actually not in the right location. It was an okay location. And at that time it was good. It kept our kids in the school that they were already in. And that would have been better than maybe moving across the river. And I had for, I don't know, at that point, probably 20 some odd years, really wanted to live in the village of Manotick. Right? One of the first homes after I became a realtor that I remember being out with clients looking at property. And I went, that feels like our next. And yet it wasn't our next. It was our next after the next. Right? Because we built our dream home. And yet it wasn't ultimately where we wanted to be long term.
Yeah, which was interesting because we were not looking to buy a house. No. But we did go through a house to evaluate it. And when we went through, because I think it's in the background, right? You wanted to live in Manotick. We suddenly said, we walked out and Yetta said, well, let's write an offer on this.
Well, we weren't even evaluating it for us to list it. It was already on the market. We were evaluating it to help us price another client's property and potentially for a buyer that we had. So we had a couple of purposes in being there. And so we went to look at it, not for ourselves at all. And we're living, that's where we're sitting right now. That's the home you're looking at. Now, it didn't look quite like it looks like right now. And the renovation did, in this case, cause it to make it feel like home, and it was the right renovation.
Yeah. And if you're listening on CHRI and you're going, yeah, what are you talking about? I can't see your home. Well, jump on our YouTube channel, YouTube Dekker team, and you can see at least our living room and our kitchen, because that's where we're at. We're at the kitchen table having a conversation to help everyday Canadians
make wiser real estate decisions.
Absolutely.
Because ultimately they're life decisions. I mean, that truth has been underneath what we've done for the last decades, like 4 almost, and I couldn't have articulated it.
Yep.
And so you may be attempting to make a decision that you can't articulate around renovating, and yet it bears to be explored.
So wisdom begins before the renovation. It begins when we understand what the home and the life around it actually need. And life seems lighter when we navigate it together. Thanks for joining us on Life's Inside Track, because when we move forward together, we've got this.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.